so I don't forget. But before, I have Ellie jump on here, who's really the star of the show, I really have to tell you about something today, you guys. And I want you to take notes on this. And I want you to understand how freaking lucky we are. You ready? You gonna help me tell a story a little bit?
Which part are we doing?
We're talking we don't anything. Chad owns real estate. It's almost like saying we run a Beachbody business. He's very supportive, so we can call it our business if we want. It's no more that I don't go to do anything with his trailer parks, except for I'm a partner investor. So you partner invested with me.
High five.
$20. He met me halfway with my 20 and his 20, and he's a part owner of Team Courage. And so I guess I am part investor in yours. However, this I have to tell you guys, like literally. So today, okay, so Chad owns this. Okay, first of all, let's just compare some things real quick. Okay, so Chad, we invested, some of y'all invested nothing. Let's just be honest. I'm a dinosaur coach, and I invested $40 before Shakeology existed, right? And that there was only a business opportunity because you weren't going to get a discount on anything because there was nothing to get a discount on. Does that make sense? Like, it wasn't very enticing to say, like, you're going to save $2 on your Activate. Awesome. Sign me up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so back in the day, almost a decade ago, we invested $40 in this business, right? How many months ago did you buy that thing? In August. Chad invested in a property that cost $325,000. 35. Sorry, 35. At that point, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Okay, so he bought how many? 10? There's 10 trailer park homes, right? Easy peasy, right? I was like, yeah, Chad, easy peasy. Like, he's like, because your business, you have to deal with people. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to deal with people too. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because where does money come from? People, right? And so far in his little time there, okay, Chad has gone to court. Okay, he's gone to court. Why'd you go to court?
Eviction.
You had to evict someone. Why'd you have to evict them?
They wouldn't pay.
They wouldn't pay. Dang it. You ever feel that way? You know what I mean? Like, so here's the thing. When someone doesn't pay for your challenge group, you can just, poof, remove them. Of course, we're much nicer than that. I mean, some of you guys just leave them in there. They don't have to. That's fine. That's your prerogative. I suppose you could have left her in there. She could have never paid. But we kind of have to rent them. There's $335,000 on the line, right? So she wouldn't pay. But before that, is this the same lady that her boyfriend died? Like the second day he owned. Yeah. We didn't own nothing.
We closed on a Wednesday.
Actually, I did have to sign the paperwork. So I guess I do own it.
You're co-owner.
I'm a co-owner of this. So someone died. So we had to deal with that. Drug overdose. Okay. So all this time, all these things are happening with needles in places, and Chad's having to call the police department and set up little stings all over the place. I'm like, how's that working for you? Is that pretty good? Like, you know what I mean? I'm down here having a party with my coaches, and he's up there dealing with that. He's like, your business.
They stole my furnace.
Oh, that's right, because they wanted the copper out of it. Wouldn't you be pissed if a coach left and they came to your house and stole your computer before they left? Like, screw you, I'm going to take your computer because I'm going to sell it. Like, that pissed you off? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so they took the furnace. Like, that was pretty funny. Yeah. But today was the best. So all in all, Chad puts in about, would you say on average, like 7 to 10 hours a week?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar to anybody? I mean, some of us put in more than that, but at first I put in about 7 to 10 hours, and that's because that was my prerogative. But I also only had $40 on the line. You know what I mean? Like, how would you be working this business if you had $335,000 on the line? Would you be like, cool? Like, you might not miss a power hour. Do you know what I mean?
The down payment was $80,000, so we have $80,000 cash.
Cash gone, but still, that's our loan.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you took out what if you took out a $335,000 loan for Facebook? You might do Facebook different or Instagram. So anyway, today was the best, and this is what. And then I see that people are finally coming out from tucking in their kids. Get your kids in bed, dang. I'm just kidding. But okay, so today was my favorite day because today was my favorite day because I worked and then I went to a Thanksgiving feast at school and then I went and got fingerprinted at the school so I could volunteer at COSI Day, you know, and then I went to Target with the kids and I shopped while they played in the game section and then I bought them a game and then we drove, we went and I got like, you know, all this time Chad is dealing with literally shit. I hope your kids aren't on here. Like literally, he's like literally dealing. So when you think you're dealing with, you know what? You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh my gosh, someone said no. Like, or they ghosted me or someone was mean. Like literally, don't forget about all the people Chad's had to evict and go to court for. And tell them about what happened.
Well,
so the short version, we actually have a real training with someone.
So the pipes. The roots have grown into the pipes and is back. There's about 100 feet, give or take 100 feet of basically packed crap in a pipe.
They had to put a cap on it so it wouldn't explode out.
That's not draining right now. So that was my life today.
Right. So this is his life, and he goes over there. He's telling me all about it. You know, that people call and tell us like they can't. It's Thanksgiving week. You know, they got things to do, turkeys to eat, and so they can't come till Tuesday. These people can't do their dishes, they can't do can't poop because it's backed up, right? And so what do? These people, it's Thanksgiving, they're hosting Thanksgiving at their trailer. Do you know what I mean? And so Chad's like, what do? I guess I back pay them for the rent that, you know, they can't stay in their house. I was like, I don't know. I kind of think you should do more than that. How would you want treated if we were renting an apartment? Right? We're renting an apartment. Chad can remember these days. We didn't have a lot of money. We're making it paycheck to paycheck. What if they said, oh, sorry, you can't stay in your apartment today. It's backed up with poop. We'll prorate we'd be like, oh, you got anything else? Like, you know, like maybe help us stay somewhere? You know what I mean? So we were talking through that. And I was like, go take care of your people. Damn, Chad. And so anyway, he did. Listen, he did. Tomorrow, and listen, you guys, we get to work from our bed naked if we want to. Woo. Let's be honest. You can. You could. Stop. You could. Right? But tomorrow morning, Chad has to go, and he did. He made things right. He's getting them a Porta John for their outside their house. That's what they elected for. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Chad has to go rent a trailer, go get a Porta John, set the Porta John up for these people, and get things right? You know what I mean? And how much is this probably going to cost us?
Low end, $3,500.
$3,500 to fix that. Do you want to know what his profits are each month? About $3,000. All the stuff that I just told you guys about, we got our name in $335,000. We invested $80,000. He works more than some of you guys do. He's in the negative this month, right? He's in the negative this month. So I think we should feel pretty good about the business we're about to learn about, don't you? I want to get your mindset right.
I'm about to become a beach bike.
I know. Hey, do you want to? No, he said that to me a few times as he was dealing with this. He was like, so you think you could teach me how to do that? I was like, no, I cannot. I cannot teach you. I cannot teach you how to do this. You're too damn stubborn.
What does that mean?
You're too stubborn.
That's
You're stubborn. You don't follow on we've tried trainings. Anybody ever tried to train your husband before? I'm like, hey, do the units training. Do the social media training. He's like, okay, I'll do that. I'm like, 5 days later, what day are you on? He's like, damn, I only made it to day 2. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, that's because he had no skin in the game.
I don't appreciate being here and being bad.
But I love you. Yeah. I love you. So anyway, anytime you start to second guess this business, I truly want you to understand that I don't know, like Chad and I were laughing about this. I do not know any other business that has the potential. I was like, babe, like I didn't know how much it profited. I know I should. That sounds crazy. But, you know, I was like, how much does this thing make a month? And he was like, 3,000. I was like, babe, I make that in 3 days. What the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so my point is the potential of this business. There's some people on here that make as much or more as Chad. Some of you guys are headed that direction and you all don't have that many headaches. You know, I don't think you've ever had to call the police on any of your clients, have you? Like, man, I wish they would stop. Leave me alone. Like, you know what I mean? That's DEA setting up stings and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad, Angela, that literally makes you feel better. Continue to push today. Yes, me too. Like, so while I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow, this is the freedom. It's called time freedom. Chad's going to deliver a porta-john. So, joke's on you, Chad. I'm just kidding. I know you used to fly jet airplanes, and now you're driving porta-johns to places. Here's the point. Here's the point. And then we're going to hand it over. The point is, there is no easy money, okay? Everybody's looking for easy. There isn't easy, right? There isn't. And that's what Chad was, like, oh, this is a little harder than I thought. I was like, stick it out. Right when because you guys know, how many of you guys know, I bet Ellie can talk about this, right when you're like thinking like, and Chad was even like, is this a good idea? I was like, yes, it's a good idea. This is when everybody quits trailer park real estate. Everyone, meaning I don't know how many people do it, but you know what I mean? Everybody quits real estate when it gets tough. The people that succeed are the ones that keep going. It's the same in Beachbody. The people that succeed are the ones that are like, keep going. You know what I mean? It is the honest truth, right? And so Chad marched his butt out there and got himself a porta-john. We high five. Okay, so enough talking about poop, although maybe, I don't know, Ellie might be talking about poop today. But I have to tell you guys, like, I'm really excited because literally, like, I'm very careful about who I put in front of you guys, right? Because words are seed. But when I'm quiet on the round table, but I watch, and every once in a while I make a methodical post comment. But I was watching Ellie and I'm like, I want her on this call, to sow belief and love and just where she's been and give you guys a little guidance from her standpoint, because we're all very unique, right? And there's different ways to build this business, and people come from different walks of life. So I'm going to hand it over to her. I'm going to let her tell her whole story, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about her that I have right here. So she's been a coach for 4 full years. Does that mean like you what's full mean? Does full mean like that's when you started, like decided like I'm going for it, or?
Yeah. And then I'll kind of touch on that. But basically I've been coaching full on coaching for 4 years.
Okay, cool. Yep, because we all have a sign-up date, it seems like, and then we have an actual go date. You know what I mean? Like, so I get that. She's a 5-star diamond coach, 2-star in her second business center, two-time Elite Success Club legend for 49 months. She was on the National Wake Up Call in June of 2018. She is both PIO and 2B Mindset certified, mom of 2 boys, 5 and 7. And I was kind of stalking on social media. She's married. How many years have you been married for?
13. I was a child bride.
Say it again?
I was a child bride. I've been married 13 years.
Okay, how old were you when you got married?
Oh, like 25. I'm just really old.
Oh, well, I'm old too then, Ellie. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to you. I want you to kind of tell them your story, and I'll just interrupt a few times if I want you to go deeper. Is that okay?
Super.
Okay, take it, girl.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much, first of all, for having me on. And I hope that, especially somebody commented that had been in this business for a week in the comments. I just wanted to tell you, you guys are lucky with a really, really incredible upline. I do not have that as in an upline. So those of you that have the support and training, it's an amazing thing, no matter where in Summers downline you are. So my name is Ellie Moore. I am coming to you from Canada, but I am South African. So the accent you hear is from like all over the place. I'm a military child, but I'm a military child of medics, not actual military people, which makes a very big difference in how I was raised. So I signed up myself, and I think that everything, this business, so much of this business, what you do with it, how you think about it, and some of the things you have to fix come from how you started. Not even what you thought before you started, but how you started. And the further we get away from that original start, it can get really convoluted in how we run our business, and it can trip us up. So for me, my friends all signed up with Beachbody. Like, do you guys remember 2000, I want to say like 11, 12, there was like a big thing with like jewelry parties. Like people would have jewelry parties. That was like a thing. That was my first exposure to multi-level marketing. And everyone was having a jewelry party, and I'd show up to these parties, and then I'd buy jewelry, and then I would have a party, and the same people would show up to my party, and then they would have to buy jewelry because I bought jewelry at their party, but then they would have a party. So it was like 10 of us going to each other's houses, buying the same dang jewelry, and like eating cheese. So I thought, this is I work in corporate and I don't need this much silver. So that was my first exposure to it. And I am an outgoing, talkative person because I'm a super control freak. And it took me like 4 years to realize that I'm not really friendly or chatty. I'm just controlling. And when you put me in a conversation, I'm like, how can I start talking so that I have full control of everything that's going on here? And nobody can ask me anything I'm uncomfortable with because I'm driving the conversation. Like it took me 4 years of coaching to realize I'm not really extroverted. I'm just like super controlling of things. It has worked out in this business. But I was looking at these parties and I was like, oh no. And people would see my personality. I worked for nonprofit for the Ministry of Health in Canada. So I had to meet with a lot of cabinet members, regular people in dismal trouble, people that are doing really well in government. And the talking thing attracted some other people that were doing like other multi-level marketing. And my second exposure to that was when somebody came up to me at work and said, I would really like to take you to lunch. And it was a board member lady who had sat like in our meetings for a long time. And I was like, I love food and I really like free food that other people make. So I got to the CEO and I'm like, I'm so flattered. Did you know that so-and-so board member is taking me to lunch? And he's like, is she taking you to lunch, Ellie? And I was like, is she gay? Because I don't have a problem with that. And I think you might have a problem here. And he's like, no, I'm gay. And I'm like, I know, but like, do you have a problem with her potentially being gay and taking me out to lunch? And he's like, no, she's selling cream. And I'm like, no, she works for the Ministry of Health. She isn't. He's like, you enjoy your lunch. And of course at lunch, there was a pamphlet, flyer on the table. That was my second exposure. And when I swore I would never touch anything like this. How do you meet with people with like flyers and like sabotage them with lunch? And I could never. So then years later, every single one of my girlfriends signed up to Beachbody. And I was so not interested, ready, or needing that in my life that I didn't even realize there was fitness. Even though they were posting a lot of fitness, I didn't, in my head, I never connected it to workouts. I was like, okay, this is a shake thing. Jewelry, creams, shakes, sure. Like, do we have a party? And apparently there used to be parties. They don't anymore since my time, but like the shake and shares. Lord, you guys, before our time, people drove with blenders in their vehicles and showed up at other people's houses to make a Shakeology. And then like pop a DVD in to like try only 15 minutes of insanity because God forbid you kept going, someone was puking on the floor and that's not going to sell nothing. So like, this is what people did. This is how like Lindsay Matwig built her business because obviously she's insane. So this was, not a thing for us, but my friends posting on social media, I used to take screenshots of the posts and send them to them and tell them how lame and embarrassing they look. Like, you think your friends are sending like posts behind your back about your business? I was sending them to them and I was like, I mean, if you want to motivate people, why are you just like barfing empty motivation? Like it's a magical Monday. What do you know about my Monday? Like, did you know that the Minister of Health is having like a crisis right now? This is not magical. But this is how I was. So they kept inviting me to things. And I was like, but because I buy everything, you guys, I'm buying a $30 handmade mug that looks like a demented teddy bear from my girlfriend who just opened an Etsy store. And I mean, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy you a $30 mug. I think you're crazy, but let me be your one and probably only customer. I'll do it. So, of course, my girlfriends are selling things. Got to buy something. So I go on the Beachbody website, the old dinosaur you might not be familiar with. And the only thing I see that makes any sense to me, and Summer's going to laugh because she's probably the only one on this call who knows it, it's that yoga booty ballet. because I like yoga and I don't have a booty, but I could be a ballet dancer. So like, that makes sense. So I bought on DVD also Yoga Booty Ballet from my friend, who immediately said, Ellie, you need a challenge pack. You need to get Shakeology. Like, what are your goals? And I said to her, my goals are to give you some money so that you know I'm a good friend, and then you potentially leave me alone. That's kind of my goal here. So I don't need Shakeology to go with that. I'm accomplishing what I came for with this purchase that I'm sure I'll love. So, okay, she sends me this box. It arrives. You guys, and this is the most important part of my entire coaching career. I opened the box. There was like 7 DVDs in there, like actual like DVDs. They all looked like they were made in the 80s. It was horrifying. And then there was a ball, like a ball you had to inflate. And I picked up that ball in my hands and I looked at the challenge, like the DVDs and the ball. And I said, oh my God, do you know what you need to inflate this ball? A needle, like an air needle and an air pump. I don't own that. Close the box, put it under my bed, and I've never opened those DVDs. So I want you to now look at that person that everybody saw potential. Everybody was like, she could be a good coach. I bought because it was like just relentless. It got into my hands. I looked at it and it wasn't the right time and it wasn't the right thing and it just didn't click, and I put it away and never thought about it. But now here I am, 6-figure income, really early on. I mean, like in my 4th year, that's really, really like good for income on a dead inside leg. In fact, the coach above me is canceled and my coach is holding a ruby. So she's not building, she has never placed a coach under me. In my career, the only people who've placed coaches under me are the people I brought in. So the worst possible income situation. So to be at a 6-figure at the end of year 4, from this person who wouldn't even touch it, the difference is what changed. I didn't become a coach. I just bought these DVDs, never touched them. Months later, I watched literally 20 seconds of Chalene Johnson's bio infomercial. I watched 20 seconds of an older woman who was in a banging shape, well beyond anything I had ever been in my 20s, sweat and do weird yoga things and tell me I could have that body. And I called my coach and I told her I'm buying. And she was like, what, more yoga booty DVDs? What the hell do you want? And I was like, no, I need Pio. I need Pio and I need Shakeology, and your birthday's coming up. And I want to support your pyramid scheme. And I figure if I get like the coach membership for your birthday, you'll probably get some sort of a pyramid scheme endocrining bonus. Like, look, you got this sucker as a coach from the first sale of a challenge pack, so maybe they'll give you more money for your birthday and you guys are struggling. So like, I'm a great Christian, by the way. So here's your gift to you. I'm buying a challenge pack and becoming a gift. Just by the way, though, God works in mysterious ways, because this worked out for her. And for years, I was like, worst business decision ever. I wanted to help somebody for their birthday, not their entire life. And a few years later, looking at her upline, I was like, Jesus has spared me. Jesus put this person between me and great evil. And because she's there, I don't belong to the evil, and I could just like pick up my people and be like, we're gonna be over here and pretend we don't know anything about this person. So all these things, all these crazy convoluted things, all happen for one reason. You can go to the perfect person who will be the perfect damn coach, who will change her life, her family's life, who will change your life by building an amazing business beneath you. But if it's not the right time, there's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you can give them. But who else would have I gone to after I pretty much turned it down and bought something useless. She was my coach. I did go back. And when I went back to her. And this is what this business is about. This business is about not being disappointed with someone not doing what you think is the best option for them or you, but not letting these people fall through our fingertips. Because when the time comes, you need to be the person they come back to no matter what. So I am not, and I'll tell you right now, I am not a big multi-level marketing person. I am not a go for no. I do not have 100 conversations which end when they tell me no. Well, because I was the kind of person who would tell you no and then tell you a few other expletives like after that, and then you would never be able to come back to me. I never want to hear no. I just want to hear thanks. I just want to hear thanks. Thank me, and I'll be back with something else you can thank me for. But tell me no, and now I feel like I don't want to be back because I'm confrontational only if it's like religion, politics, or vaccines. If it's not those three things, then I'm not confrontational at all. But bring those three things up and I'm like, I can't have this conversation with you right now at all whatsoever. So coaching. This is the really, these are some really big things. Summer, I'm usually like, when somebody makes a comment in my newsfeed, I'm like, you're not the person that I thought you were. Would I help you get healthy? Yes, I would. Okay. So I'm going to let this slide because I don't think you should die because you believe this. So I'm still going to invite you to my challenge groups. And sometimes I read some things and I'm like, I think you should die. Like tomorrow, I hope. How's your diabetes going? I'm so angry at you. So you have to make decisions in your business, you guys. You have to make decisions in your business. All right, but the useful information to you guys. So I'm a person greatly comforted by numbers and statistics because I am super unemotional because I've had a really traumatic upbringing. So in my really traumatic upbringing, I've learned to be very strategic. When something really bad happens and people are crying, my situation is like, what are the numbers on this? How long do we have? We're trapped in an elevator and it's on fire? Okay, so we've got 30 seconds. What can we do in 30 seconds? Right? That's kind of how I am. So numbers. My first year, mostly relying on retail because, again, no volume. Somehow I managed to earn $16,000. My first year. Guys, no sugarcoating it. I have ran this business obsessive compulsively, 24/7, 365. If I was working my job, I was thinking about my business. If I was tending to my babies, I was thinking about my business. I was wishing my babies weren't around so I could run my business. I got excited and I accepted that this is something I wanted in my life. And this is the make or break of any coaching career. We can teach you to close a deal. We can teach you to stop effing talking so much to your prospects. Stop talking. Ask them questions. They talk, you listen, you take the information, and you give them something to look at. That's so simple. Stop the talking. We can teach you that. We can teach you to follow up 17 times or they're never going to buy. We can teach that. We can't teach you to be brave. And we can't teach you to be excited. And we can't teach you to be just a little bit full of yourself. Just a little bit. And I'm going to stand on this very strongly. There was a big movement about vulnerability that started in 2017. And there was a lot of people talking about how it's important to be vulnerable. But there was a marketing piece missing from the vulnerability piece that was advertised. So some coaches figured vulnerability means strip myself raw and just lay out my mess and my horror and sit in the middle of it, rocking back and forth in my profile, but kind of ending it with, but I'm going to be okay. And your network's reading this and they're like, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not going to be okay, though. Holy. And then you go, I want you to join my challenge group. And they're like, is it therapy? Because it sounds like maybe you need some. Vulnerability, without being a little full of yourself, is kind of like a train wreck. And people are going to comment things like, oh man, you don't deserve this. You're a bigger person than that. I'm rooting you on. You don't want them rooting you on? They're not going to spend money on, like, unless it's a charity case, but then they'll buy yoga, booty, ballet from you, right? They're not going to be like, you have overcome. You're strong. I see things in you I wish I was. And I hate to break it to you. Your social media is actually not your diary. Not your emotional diary. It's not your family diary. Your social media has to be smart. And it has to be a little bit positively manipulating. Think of it like positive FOMO. You guys, when you get a flyer in the mail, is it like Target CEO telling you about how his aunt's sick and he's worried? No, he's telling you what's going on. Obviously, we are not Target and we're not putting out anything like sweet Lord producty on your business. Nothing, right? But your posts have to be thought out and have to lead to something, and you have to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do you want to make money from this business? Yes? Wonderful. To make money, you need to have a huge, huge, huge positive impact on people. You need to lead people. Are you acting like someone people will follow? Now, if your graphics kind of suck, if you're posting 725 pictures of your children and they're over the age of 2, nobody's child is cute after the age of 2. Like, forget it. Like, nobody. You need to take like smart pictures or interesting pictures or have like amazing color. It's for anybody to think like 2 children walking down and their backs are turned to you and the sun's coming through the forest. Yeah, sure. But in any other circumstance, good Lord, probably not. You've got to be someone people want to follow. And they don't want to follow somebody who's like, meh. Their lives are meh. They look in the mirror and it's meh. Their neighbors are meh. They need something just a little bit more than what they have. And your responsibility is to show them that side. And when you're struggling, your responsibility is to be strong in your struggle so that you are lifting others in your struggle, not 7 months later. But you shared the whole 7 months with them and they'll give up on you. So is it hard? Well, yeah, of course it's hard. It's ridiculous. You can't be selfish and you can't be like really open some days. Some days you have to go to Pinterest and find a stupid funny quote, because if you were to speak your mind, people would wonder what the heck's the matter with you. And you're just having that day, and that's fine. And it doesn't have to be on your social media. You want this. You want to show up and people need to see your name come up and slow down the scroll. Don't ask too much. Don't ask them to like stop and really ponder things, because they're like in the numb days of social media. But they just want to recognize your name enough to scroll down this store and say, oh, what has she got to say? Is she funny today? Is she half naked? Like, what are we talking about here? Is she like mad at someone? Just slow down your scroll enough and then keep going. That's all you want people to do on your newsfeed, because the value you're giving them in personal messages, the value you're giving them to the freemiums you're inviting them to, the value you're giving them to the free launches you're running, that's enough. And your fun, engaging presence on social media makes them feel at ease at interacting with me. Nobody's afraid to comment on one of my posts, because I will not attack them with a, thanks for the love on my message. It was about cats. Do you like cats? Also, do you feel fat today? Like, they're not going to get that from me. So they know they can engage with me, because I'm not going to come after them like that. Oh, I'll come after them, just not like that. And they don't want that. They don't want the point blank, oh my God, I should have never clicked on your thing post. So how can you do that? When you become the fitness person, if fitness is your focus, because now it's, food to be mindset. You then could be the food. I am like, seriously, fitness is kind of my jam. So I'm going to say fitness, but in your head, if you're a to-be mindset person, you translate that to delicious, amazing food. You need to become the point of reference for people in that one sphere. If one of my friends who's not a coach or a customer hears somebody say, oh my God, I need to lose 200 pounds, they're gonna go, I don't know what to tell you. But if they hear somebody say, man, I think I've got anxiety and like, I wish I had abs, and also I really like yoga, I think I need to find a yoga class and lose some weight. They're gonna say, you know what? I have a girl and she does like full body fusion weird stuff. I don't even know what it is, but like she got abs and she does it from home, and they'll think of me for people who want to get athletic, because my social media is me half naked getting athletic. And that's like, who do you think about, Ellie? Oh my God, I've seen too much of her already. That's kind of the people I attract. The people I attract want to take off all their clothes, look in the mirror and be like, that's what they want. And that's amazing, because I like that too. But then, they sometimes send me naked pictures of themselves, which is really weird, and they never warn you. Women are they get to know you, and then they think they can just blast things at you, and sometimes you're just not ready. I had to disable like the preview on my messages, because sometimes I'm in public and it's like, oh God, your results are really exciting, but oh my God. So you need to have your thing, but then whatever your thing is, might be your age group. Let's talk about age. Girls that are like in their 20s are not particularly concerned with things that women nearly 40 are. I'm 38. I have very different things that I'm interested in than 20-year-olds. I also have more money, so I prefer the 30-year-olds. They have like the income. Women in their 40s are pretty much close to where I am, but women in their 50s and 60s are different. And I have 3 very successful women over the age of 50 who are fit, who are healthy, and who have fun with Beachbody and are definitely influencers in their media. So don't ever take what I'm saying and go, well, Summer, nice call. I guess now I have to get naked and upside down. Well, I mean, first of all, maybe you do. Is that what you want? But if it isn't what you want, what's the thing you want to be known for? And then you really have to get over the fear of being known for something. And that part is the biggest thing. You have to get over the fact that you will need to stand for something and be pretty in people's faces about it to build that reputation. You can't be humble and have a reputation unless you have a humble reputation. But who's going to be like, I wish I was more fit, but also I'm looking for a coach who's very humble. But nobody cares about humble. Are you crazy? You want abs. People come to me all the time with the words, I need someone to kick my ass. And empathy is something I struggle with. So that's a really good combination, because people will be like, I ate a cake. And I'm like, a slice of cake? And they'll be like, a cake? I'm like a whole mini cake, like a mini cheesecake? No, like a whole cake? And then everyone in my group is like, oh, at the beginning, they used to be like, oh my God, you know what? Tomorrow is a fresh day. And you just pull yourself together and you just step forward bravely through this mistake. Everybody does stuff like that. And then, of course, I would come in and be like, number one, not everybody does stuff like that. People who do that have a binging eating disorder, and you need to stop thinking that's okay. Second of all, why do you have a cake in your house, a whole cake in your house? And if someone gave it to you, they hate you and they're evil. And maybe you should cleanse your house out of those influences. If they think you're getting fit and they bring you a cake, they don't want you to be happy, clearly. So, and now my group, of course, when somebody posts about like, I ate 17 slices of pizza, my group is like, let's talk about what might have caused you to do such an unreasonable thing. Because now they've been trained from me to be like, no, that's not like, but I talk about that on my profile. I attract the people that need to be shaken and need to be told, no, that's not okay. You're like a toddler. Like, what are you doing? I don't attract the people who are looking for a shoulder to cry on. They go to coaches who lead with empathy. I have sympathy and I have motivation and I want to empower you. I don't want you to walk away from this call and post something like, #blessed. What a great call from my fit family today. I am so inspired. Don't tag me on that. I'll be mad. Like, you can go to Pinterest and be inspired in 10 seconds. You can go to YouTube and watch there's some videos, like motivational videos in YouTube that are like Denzel Washington voices them, and you will be like inspired. And then the video will end and you'll get suckered into cat videos and you won't be inspired anymore. Because inspiration is only until you're consuming it, like sugar. Like, it's only good until you're doing it. Empowerment. I want you to walk away from this call and feel like you have power you might have chosen not to use yet. And I want you to think about that. You have power. We all have power. Every time we post something on social media, we exert power in our lives. It can be a little bit scary to up your power. So like, if right now your weapon of choice is like, I don't know, a lacrosse stick. I'm so Canadian now. Look at me. I'm not even South African anymore. But have you seen a lacrosse stick? Like, they play with, like, it looks like a butterfly net. It's really embarrassing. It's like a butterfly net and a ball, and they run around tossing the thing. It's not very manly. So right now, maybe you've got a lacrosse stick and you're like, I'm a beach buddy coach. And then there's some of us who are like, Star Wars lightsabers, I'm a beach buddy coach. And then other people with like atomic buttons, like, I'm a beach buddy coach. I don't even have to do anything. I just press the button and everything around me explodes. I am not at that level, and I'm very scared of it. But that's good, room to grow. I've got a lightsaber and I'm like, I don't have a big range, but I will kill everybody around me. So if you have a weapon in your arsenal, if your posts are like humble and kind and you're leading, but you're not ever really asking anyone to do anything, it can be very scary to like pick up a bazooka and be like, and now I unleash my true power. This is like a terrible analogy about gun violence, because I'm actually anti-guns altogether. It started with a lacrosse stick and escalated really quickly. This is why weapons are so bad for you. You never know what's going to happen. So it can be really frightening to start taking ownership of your power on social media. I will tell you where I feel powerful. When I make a post that says something tremendously strong that people will take as authority because it's just too cocky to say otherwise. So I end a lot of my posts with the phrase, just you wait, fitness will change the world. That's a big thing to say. I also believe that. That's my hill to die on. Fitness will save the world. And I say, just you wait. I am telling people who are not with me, watch me change the world with fitness. And that's a leader thing to say. When you read that from someone, you're like, yes, I don't even like fitness, but like, it's changing things. That's a powerful play of words, and it's rooted in belief. So say someone, a troll, God bless them, I really like trolls. A troll comes and comments below, well, I think the world has bigger things to worry about than what they look like. Oh, it's my dream. I actually sometimes fantasize about opening a fake account to troll myself. Do you know how awesome that would be? Like, seriously, like, I should do that. Just totally troll myself and be like, oh, really? Well, I think you look super fat or something, right? And then, you know, like, my network would explode. It'd be so funny. But anyway, but a troll could come along and say something. And if they did, I would be so excited because I'll take them down because this is my hill to die on. And I'm like, bring it. And first of all, people will never come for you because they're like super cowards and they'll never come to you. But if they did, you would never be afraid because you'd be like, yeah, no, seriously, fitness is going to like change the way people take prescription drugs. Fitness is going to change confidence levels. Fitness is going to save the world. I'm working on saving the world through fitness. Your problem is, so those words, what are you saying on your social media to really establish you? Because everyone who's watching and reading, they're waiting for something bad to happen to them to come to you. It's terrible. But they're going to watch your post and be like, Ellie, you inspired me so much, I took up running. And I'm like, in which post of mine did you see me run? That's very strange. You're having a strange reaction to my posting strategy. Why are you running? But of course, instead I'm like, fitness. Yes, you go be fit. Do you have any goals to go with your running? So let's say, they do that and you're like, what the heck? Like, just like do this thing. And then you're like, oh my God, I finished lift 4. My arms. And they're like, I stopped running because it sucks. And you're like, yeah, it really does though. And you're like, why don't you just do this thing with me? This is weird. And then nothing happens and you feel like you failed. You failed to close the deal. No, you didn't. That person has yoga booty ballet under their bed and they're never going to open it. But that person is going to get tagged in a picture and they're going to be like, that's not me. That's just, how is that me? Their husband's going to say something stupid to them one day. Just something off the cuff, meaningless, and it's just going to hit the right nerve and like nuclear meltdown. Or they're going to be in the change room and they won't be able to fit into something, or it won't look like they want it to look, or nothing will fit. And that moment will happen. And the only person they will think of is you. Man, all those posts that lifted me up. So for you to have this power, that in the moment of disappointment, anger, marital crisis, in that moment of pain, if you come up as the solution, the person they must manage, because they feel this pain, they're either going to drown the pain, which is, do negative things, or they're going to take action. There will come a point when they can only take action, and they will take unreasonable, stupid action if it's not for you. But you will come into their head, not the person telling them to wrap their body in like stuff or put a patch on or like drink more wine or something. Like that person, that'll all go to the side because they'll think of you. And thank God, because what are the alternatives? The alternatives are not good for them. So for you to have the honor of being the person that someone thinks of in their time of crisis, you have to have earned that through leadership. You don't get to be humble and meh and inconsistent on your profile. You don't get to be like that and have people think of you at their hardest time. You have to be everything they want to find in themselves for them to come to you when that time comes. So that when you follow up with them about yet another release, because my gosh, you're not gonna stop. When you follow up about this new release, now they're like, you know what, the last 4 times, but I'm ready this time. And I always ask, what's happened? And they're like, what? I'm just ready to get fit. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. What happened between the last time and this time? And the story inevitably always comes out. It's not you and your magical follow-up. You're just serving the follow-up to remind them that, hey, are you in a crisis yet? Are you nearing that time when you must take action? Because like I'm your person. That's all you're doing with those follow-ups is just saying, hey, I'm still your person. For the thing, still your person, just on your time. Your person over here. But it's their time that will bring them to you. So you have to look at your business like a real business. And I'll tell you what helped me, and it was like the weirdest switch ever. I do not crochet or knit or anything. But I one day was walking with leadership with a bunch of weirdo coaches. Leadership is so weird. Like nobody knows anybody, because really only the really big downlines have their own coaches there, because you must be a 5-star. I don't have any 5 stars. My like donkey squirrels are like trotting along doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. And I'm like, just can somebody come to leadership though? Like, it's very strange. Like all these people, I'm like, hello. I think I've seen you before in big important places, but you look very ordinary. It's strange. So leadership, I was walking back in a group of people, I don't know. And then suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, I thought, I would have no problems promoting my business if I had an Etsy shop. I'm jealous of Etsy people. Because like, if I crocheted hats, I'd be like, what do you do for a living? I crochet hats. Check out the latest hat I made. Would you like a hat with your initials on it? because like they have a hat and winter's coming, and you need a hat. So like I crochet hats. Would you like a hat? Like I have no problem saying that to people. And yet people like meet me in an elevator and they're like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, do I talk about the Challenger group? Do I talk about the coach opportunity? Should I just be like, I'm a professional multi-level marketer? Like there's so many answers here. I'm not really sure which one I want to give you. Like, I don't know, I raise homing pigeons. Like, you know, so I kind of always feel a little like I have two pitches, the coach pitch and then the challenger pitch, and I have to judge who this person is and where to get them in. But if I had hats, I'd be like, I make hats. Here is my Etsy store with the hats. But oh my God, it's so stupid. This is the exact same thing. If you have a hat, you can wear a hat. Like if you have a head, you can wear a hat. And if you have a body, you're probably unfit. Because welcome to 2018. Seriously. Like, ask anybody. Ask me. I'm pretty fit, I think, compared to other people. I teach fitness classes where people cry and I'm talking through it. So I'm always like, shush. You don't get to do anything. You don't get to cry unless you want to get up here and talk while you're doing this, because I want to cry and I should be crying. I'm talking through burpees. That's awful. I teach like 3 times a year. It's a terrible experience. So, but I can do that. And that was like the biggest revelation for me was I would have no problem promoting my business if it was on Etsy. But for some reason, I feel all like, and now ask me, what do I do for a living? Oh, I help women get really athletic from home, on the go. Really, I don't like to say from home because people who want to get really athletic have like super preconceived notions about the gym. And I got to be careful with like from home because then it becomes a home versus gym conversation. Versus, what do you mean versus? Go work out with Bon at the gym, on the beach, in your bathroom. I don't care. Just go and selfie in the bathroom. That's gross. So like, I just say, you know, I help women get really athletic on the go, on their own time, super cheaply. So I don't have a problem now because I thought of hats. The last thing I want to leave you with, I want you to think about owning a restaurant. Now, this is specifically meaningful to me because I was raised by 2 medics, academics. Well, my dad's not a medic, he's an academic. My mom's an academic medic. So people who went to university for like 785 years. And their parents went to university for 800 years. And their parents and their parents and their parents. Really academic upbringing. And their son ended up being a professional musician. How's that for karma? And their daughter got involved in the nonprofits. People thought I was going to blow myself up with like a Greenpeace ship. I was never going to do that. Are you kidding? Like nothing sexy about blowing yourself up to a ship. But I did want to bomb some. So I became like a non-profiteer. And my brother became a musician. And my poor parents were like, we have failed you. We have failed you. We have failed you. So my mom's biggest nightmare, I have children, it's a thing. So my mom's biggest nightmare was that my brother or I, or God forbid together, would open a restaurant. Because restaurants open and close all the time. No, I'm on a call and you're annoying. Go sit, please. So I would open a restaurant and it would close down because that's what restaurants do. They close down. So I grew up legitimately believing business isn't safe, that business is not the way, that there's so much risk in business. And I always, whenever I feel like it's a hard month and I'm like at Success Club 6, something crazy is happening and I'm like, I always think my job is to really help like 5 people a month and then encourage the rest. And then encourage the rest to talk to their friends. And then love on the people who've joined me from the months before. But if I had a restaurant, I had to sit like 150 a night or I would close. Like, oh, what if you're sitting in a restaurant and no one's coming through the door? Do you sell something every single day? I hope you do. I don't. But if you have a restaurant, you have to put physical bodies in that restaurant all the time. And say you have the hot new place in town and it's great. The neighborhood really needed a restaurant and they're so excited you're there. And then 2 years later, just as you get comfortable and you start to make a profit, because a real business obviously takes like 2 years of not making any money, brick and mortar, And then like the cutest Asian fusion place opens next door. And it's like popping. And you're like, I don't have anything Asian looking on my menu. And if I did, it would be weird. How horrible and scary. And how many restaurants closed down because of that? Go through your town. How many places have been open for 20 years? And what are they like? And I mean, the people that are supporting them are clearly going to die at some point because it's just the old timers. And then what are they going to do? Like those places are not evolving, right? But here we are in a business that you don't have to evolve. Did you have to transition from DVDs to streaming? No. Beachbody did, and they pooped their pants the whole time they were doing it. What did you do? Promote bot, because that was the next thing to do. You weren't stressing like they were because it was like the biggest transition anyone had ever done. And do you have to come up with the next amazing latest program to capture the latest trend? No, you dingbat. Beachbody did. They were like, oh my God, we did 6 hours a week and forced them to eat 70 times a day. And those suckers did it. All right. And then we were like, don't worry about that. Now we're going to work out for just 4 days a week. And like, who cares about the food? It'll be fine. Just lift some weights and take some stuff. And we loved it. And now they're like, what should we do next? Hey, we haven't heard from Shantina, but why doesn't he do like asylum on a step? Oh, that's sexy, huh? Oh, they'll get some great like camera angles with him. And he was like, I almost have arthritis, so I can totally do it off a step, sure. And we're like, all right, well, that's the next thing we're doing. How much of that was your concern? Your concern is to find 5 people who want to try it with you. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're asking people to do a fitness program. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, transform training. I'm horrified. I was like, it's going to be okay, you guys. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be super cardio heavy because it has a step and he did push-ups on it. And if there's pushes, that's resistance cardio, you guys. It's resistance cardio. Resistance cardio is not real cardio. We can do resistance cardio. And then you watch the stuff and you're like, oh no, it's all kinds of cardio. We're going to die. I'm going to kill myself on the step with the step. I'll choke myself on the step. But that's amazing because now I'm terrified. Do you know what people love? People love to feel anything. Your friends are scrolling so badly through their phones, they feel nothing. They're numb. They scroll because they're numb. Then they drink wine because they're numb. And then they binge on Netflix. And they live in the state of nothingness. And their insides are like understanding how dangerous that is, but they can't crawl out for air. And the only time some moms come up for a breath of air, I'm not even kidding, is when they drive to work by themselves in the car and a good song comes on. And they feel this like upliftment. They're alone in the car, their kids have been dropped off, or they're going to the groceries and they're listening to the song 3 minutes a day if they're lucky to hear a good song on their way. But they know that's bad. And every time they feel that, it reminds them how the rest of their life is kind of like, what the F is happening to us? And now you come in and you can make them feel something. Anything. Your job isn't to make them feel anything specific. Just make them feel. So you can message literally all your friends and go, hey, like there's a new program coming out and I'm terrified. It's a bit of a beast. I'm looking for a group of people who are willing to try this together with me. And I know there'll be a prize for the person who pukes on the floor. Do you want to see it? And your friends are going to be like, I'm not doing that. Show it to me. Show me the stupid thing you're going to do. And then what are you showing them? A multi-million-dollar video of Sean T sweating on a step that in its infomercial voice is promising you all these salesy, terrible things. But that's fine because it's not you saying it. So they're like not even associating the salesy part with you. They were just like taking the message of marketing in without associating it with you because it's obviously not you speaking. But then they're seeing Sean T and he's dying on the step and they're like, I am like, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. And you're like, I know, right? But it's just 20 minutes a day. Let me know if you want more info. I have a group. We'll like go through the meal plan and stuff. How do you say no to that? Like, it's terrifying. And then like, well, if you're scared and I'm scared, it's like a bonding experience. That works really well. 80-day obsession. Oh my God, my team made so much fun of me because I don't do well with long workouts at all. I'm like dancing in my workouts. I'm doing handstands, and my coaches are like, you can't possibly be doing a full workout and then going back for extra shots. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I can't do that part again. I'm like doing handstands. That's a workout too. So when the 80-day obsession came out, I came up with it, and I was like, I don't think I can do an hour. Possibly. Impossible. I can. That's insane. And timed nutrition, I will have to have 7 alarm clocks on my phone to tell me when and what to eat. That sounds awful, but it looks really fun at the same time. It has bands and weird things, and people are like, that's terrible. I can't live my life like that. Yeah, I'm going to try it. I don't know. It's how people work. They just want to feel something, and if it's new, and if they haven't done it before, it sucks to me. It is FOMO, but it's better FOMO when it's your first time and you're also scared. So you're the leader who's saying, oh, I'm going to need support. And they're like, they're kind of your fan. If you've had a good social media, they are your fan. And now you tell them you're going to figure it out together. And now they feel like teacher's pet. She called on me. It's powerful. Launches are a powerful thing to totally, yes, bring people together. Your existing customers, your previous customers, coaches who quit. It's like, hey, I know you've been taking a break from like anything healthy or good in your life, but have you thought about doing this program with us? Maybe come back to the family? Come back to the family. We know where you live. This is ridiculous already. And people are like, you know what, since I left, all these terrible things happen. And you're like, I have developed empathy, but I'm going to try. So if you run your social media as a leader, people will react to you as the leader. But no one can teach you to lead. You have to be brave, and you have to expect resistance, because leaders have to, like, if you imagine a big town square and you draw, like you come with a crate, like a milk crate, nothing fancy. And you put a milk crate in the middle of the town square, and you stand on it with a megaphone, and you start screaming your purpose. How scary is that? But the leader is the person in front screaming the purpose. The leader is in front, and they are loud in their vision. Maybe you don't have a loud personality, but you are loud in your vision. It doesn't matter how you deliver your vision. It has to be loud. And it's scary to be loud in front of people who might have questions for you, who might call you out. And I have been called out, and sometimes I've been wrong. And it's terrible when you're like in an argument with someone and they keep coming up with things, and you're like slowly losing the battle, and you're like, I'm so fighting for this, but I kind of think this is okay. Pivot. You know what? You make some very excellent points. I'm going to have to Google some of these links you sent, and should I delete these posts? I don't know. But sometimes that happens, and that's okay, because then you'll grow from it. Right? But you can't be afraid to lead. And this is what I tell my team. I'm in front, and there's many stages behind me. And it doesn't matter where you are, because you can change stages back and front anytime you want. Guess what? I, as the leader, I'm not allowed to do that. I, as the leader, am not allowed to decide to have a hobby right now. I'm too far invested. There are too many people relying on me for me to be like, oh, you know what? This month's kind of crazy. I think I'm just going to like spend Christmas completely unplugged with my family. No, like I am a terrible leader. That's not what I'm doing. I'm supposed to be there for people. So I'm in front, and I got a machete, and we're in a bamboo forest, and we're all running. So it's like awful. Bamboo slapping me in the face. I got a machete, but for like every one side I hit, another side slaps me upside the face. And the whole time I'm trying to be really cheerful about it. It's okay, you guys. Clearing the path. This is going to be great. And my leaders are right behind me. They haven't leveled up with me yet, and I hope they never do. I hope I always outrank them, just like my hair. But my leaders are right on my heels, and they're like, it's okay, Ellie. We're getting some of these branches that just passed you, by the way, but we're still getting them and clearing this path. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm bleeding everywhere. I'm trying to stop. And we are like moving as a pack. And then behind us are the working coaches that are not leading yet, but they're in the race with us. And they're like, oh my God, you guys are fast. You guys are fast. I'm conditioning. I'm coming. And then behind them are the coaches that are working the business. They're like walking down the path, and they're like, nice path, eh? Yeah, it's like super sunny. I feel inspired. I just wish there wasn't so much blood on the floor. Like, what the heck are these guys doing up there? It's terrible stuff. But, nice forest, nice forest. And those are the stages of people. Like, some people just don't understand what it's like to be in front. And us in front, we are like getting skinned alive, but we are together, and that's kind of cool too. And there is always the opportunity for you to go from any one of those people. If you are the person who's feeling super inspired and posting Pinterest pictures, that's great. Maybe like run a little bit harder so you can see where the real challenge is, and you can push your team with you to help maybe Summer, who might be a little bit tired with the machete in her hands, getting slapped all over the place, and she needs a few more to the front to like get some of the stuff hitting her all the time. Like if she's the only person that gets hold of like the VIP line all the time, that's a lot. Maybe somebody else needs to go 5-star real soon so that there's 2 people who can handle that on your team. If you're constantly asking her for things, maybe you need to be the person. If you're asking her things for your team, you need to be her. She has a machete and she's bleeding. Maybe you need to like, take a few punches and deal with it yourself in the front. Because then you know what will happen? You run faster. And your team is gonna see you run faster. And what are they gonna do? Speed up so they're not left behind by you. So face your business. Maybe you make 16,000 your first year, but maybe you make 45 the second. Maybe you make 75 the third, maybe you're 100,000 the fourth. The age of making $1 million in a year from day one is gone. Not for Beachbody, it's gone for anybody. It's gone for all MLM, it's gone for online course creation. Those days are gone. The age of building, my God, not. Are you looking for a social influencer job? Guys, all those ads about the social media influencers, you are advertising to people who are going to take pretty selfies. They're not going to run in front with the machete, I will tell you that much. They're going to walk at the back and be like, nice bamboo, let me try and not get some of the blood in the picture. You need to be the person who fights for your business with belief, and the people who believe it will come with you. And if they don't, that's fine, because they'll still get healthy and fit. But the age of instant money is gone. The social influencer, it's lame now. Like it's lame, it's done. Now it's reputation. What is your reputation? What is your reputation on social media? If you're promoting To Be Mindset, do you have amazing food and results from the food that you've been eating? If you're promoting fitness, do you have amazing fitness results? If you're self-sabotaging on level challenger, who are you going to lead exactly? Other self-sabotaging people? Like that would be a very difficult journey for you. So start with you. Am I the result I want people to get? It's a terrible thought, isn't it? Are you the result you want people to get from your programs? No, you probably want them to get really like epic results, and you maybe don't think your results are so epic because maybe of something, right? Are you the results you want them to get? And then, are you the coach you want your coaches to be? The worst number anyone's ever going to give you is your team is only going to work at about 60% of what you're doing. It's so annoying, but it's like a thing. So if you're showing up at 120% for your team, like pouring it all out, they are at like 80. If you're at 120 and you can't live at 120, so sometimes you're at 80, but when you drop to 80, they drop to 40. Now they're like feeling proud of themselves for posting on social media. And you're like, you don't get a cookie for that at all. And also, your transformation is completely stalled. No cookies for you ever. So, I mean, that is not true though, because you'd be like resentful and you binge. That's like, don't do that. But if you have to be the leader, if you want the 100,000, it's because there are a lot of people who are looking up to you, but you've got to give them something to look up to. The passion, the belief, the results, and the consistency. But then that sounds like, oh my God, that's so much hard. It is so hard. But on the other hand, you get to look pretty good, feel pretty good, and then get people essentially taking pictures of themselves because they really love that butt right now. And they asked their husband to take a picture of their butt. And then they sent it to someone and it wasn't him. And he was really confused about what just happened. But like, and that's amazing for somebody to say to you, hey, it takes me 20 minutes extra to get ready in the morning because I stare at myself in the mirror. That's not vanity. That's confidence. That's somebody who has something to see in the mirror that maybe they never did. And now they're like, I can't believe I freaking did this. So I'm going to close with my favorite story of all time. I had a customer. And you don't always connect with all your customers. Sometimes somebody is just like posting selfies in your group and you're like, are you like a discount coach? Are you a customer? When did you come along? You're just a random person that you're not really clicking with. So this lady was a free group person, went to a challenge pack, did her thing, slow and steady, 2 years in, 20 pounds lost, really great, very quiet, like never really, we engaged, but like I wasn't like, oh my God, let me send her this picture, it's gonna make her laugh, because I didn't know her like that. She sends me a message one day, and she says, I have to thank you for changing my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I always reply the same. I get to be in the front row of your story. You got to be the hero, and I was cheering, shouting, and sometimes throwing things at you from the front row. But it was your journey, and I'm proud I got to watch. And she goes, no, but like for me, it's a bit more than that. I really made some huge changes in my life. And I'm like, amazing. Like, you gave up sugar? I don't know. Like, what are the big changes you made? And she's like, you know what? I quit my, oh, I shouldn't say that. She said, you know what I did? I reported my boss. And I was like, this is taking a turn. To what? Like, I was like, you did what? And she was like, yeah. I was like totally sexually like intimidated by my boss for like 3 years. I actually went on antidepressants, and that's how I ended up gaining the 20 pounds, and also like almost killed myself like 3 times. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah. But then, like, I met you in your free group, and I did a bunch of your free groups, and then I did the challenge. And she goes, I think when I signed up for the challenge, I was like, I've got nothing to lose, but at least I can like do something in one area of my life. And she's like, there was nobody I could report him to. And like, I was going to get fired for sure. And I need my job for my kids. And then she goes, I lost the weight, and I don't know. I stopped caring about what would happen. And I walked in there and I reported him, and then I reported him to the other boss. And then I wrote the CEO an email. And I was like, and then what happened? And she's like, well, like a bunch of other women actually ended up coming forward, and he got fired. And I was like, and I'm sitting there like, I didn't even know. I just ran my challenge group. Like, rah, 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 why are you making bad choices? I like a selfie. Tell me about your workout. Like, I was just there checking in, telling them not to quit. Nothing exceptional. But that's all she needed. That's all she needed. And that insane feeling of knowing this person like contemplated suicide 3 times. This person is alive, well, and happy and promoted with her children now. You don't deserve that if you haven't also been brave to lead. That's like the prize. Yeah, elite, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the money, great. But that feeling of the person they will remember who seriously was like, no, not you, not this time, like, not today, Satan. You're that person for like lots of people you don't know about. And that feeling, it doesn't come without the blood, the sweat, and the tears. It's always your blood. And sometimes you cry for other people because sometimes you can't help them. And so the tears could be yours from joy, but the tears could be also yours for others, right? And the sweat, it has to be yours because they won't sweat if you're not sweating. So the blood, the sweat, and the tears is kind of spread around, but a lot of it is on you, and it has to be, otherwise you're not worthy of the good stuff in this business. So all I want for you guys today is not to think, well, I've been in this business for 4 years and I didn't even make 20,000 this year. Okay, so then make next year your 20,000 year. Because if you make next year your 20,000 year, well, then you can make the next year the 45,000 year, and then the 75,000 year, and then the 100,000 year. And then you can sit at 100,000 and be like, oh, my dreams have come true. for my business, because I dream really small, and then be like, the next mile is like 250,000. Oh my God. So you can get there if you start today. You can get there if you started a year ago. Lead, have a loud voice in however way it's heard, whether it's through written word, live videos, in person, however your personality is. Find the thing you believe for and keep telling people that. Doesn't matter if your calling is to help people over 50. Like, you guys, we live to like 85 now. And women that are 55 and older fundamentally believe fitness is too late for them. You guys, that's like almost 30 years before our average lifespan. We're like, oh my gosh, can you change your life and body in 30 years? Of course you can. That's a demographic no one's even like encouraging. And then young women are becoming the new alcoholics because it's like mom time, right? Like, it's now in the States, and Canada's already done this, but in the States, it just became like, the word is not legalized, but it just became written in physicals that the doctor has to ask you about your alcohol consumption. They always did because they cared. Now they have to. Because like women are going to overtake men in alcoholism for the first time ever. And you are scared to tell your network that there's a new program coming out and hey, maybe they should do something for themselves. Like, you know what I mean? The pressure to please people, sure, but the responsibility for the work that we do. I have a great coach, a discount coach, loves the program, is very invested. She's a rep of another company and they specialize in clothing, not fitness clothing, more like, I don't want to name what it is, but it's other items. And she posted from her summit and they're so excited and they're unveiling this wallet and it has polka dots on the inside. And these people are losing their minds about the polka dots in the wallet. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching that and I'm like, I love that they love this company because we should all have something we super passionately love. But Transform 20 is going to pull someone out of a grave. Transform 20 will stop a suicide. Transform 20 will save a marriage. Or maybe Transform 20 will break up a marriage that should have been broken up a long time ago. Transform 20 will come in and it will change lives. That's exciting. So when you are where I'm sitting and you see these things happen to people, how can I turn back and be like, well, maybe there's like another opportunity I can look to and start from the beginning and be excited about polka dots? Oh my God, like, put polka dots in a shaker cup. I don't care. Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Right? So feel the weight of what you're doing. And when you hear those negative voices, and there's so many of them, who do you think you are? Is like the number one crippling voice of all of us. Every single human on this planet is like, who do I think I am? Well, dude, go meet some successful coaches. You're going to spend 10 minutes with them and you'll be like, how the heck did you even? Or like you scroll somebody's social media and you're like, I don't get it. How are you doing this? It's like the worst posting I've ever seen. And it's not to put other coaches down. It's just to tell you that there's very few people who are really actually exceptional. But there's a lot of people that show up like the consistency of a honey badger and they follow up with people like a mofo and you're like sitting in your chair going, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And they're like, I'm going to reply back to 17 people that ghosted me last month. And you're like, I just don't know who it is. It's so stupid. And we all do it. Like I do that so bad. So anyway, lead, go do. If you are, oh my God, if you're a suck like me, like nonprofit, if any of you have been in nonprofit, God bless you, because we're like conditioned to believe we shouldn't be paid for what we do. You should look up Gordon. I mean, he's like the worst. He's going to scream at you for his entire audiobook. If you're not first, you're last. He's going to yell at you the whole book. He'll be obnoxious and really American. No offense to the American audience over here, all of you. But he's like really very like, you know, pick up that phone. You don't need to make a list of the people you're going to call. You need to pick up the phone and make a call. And like, but he says some things that will kick your butt. He said some things that like kicked my butt about earning money and changed the way I handled the way I'm offering people. Number one being, if you're asking people to spend, let's say $185, because you're in Canada and everything's like way more expensive here, you're going to ask them to spend $185 and they say they have no money and it's a tough month. You know what I say to them? I guarantee you though, I say to them, like, first of all, this is on your timeline, not mine. I say, this will never work until you're ready. So if you feel right now you're not ready, this won't work and I don't want you to do it. But it's called, if you are not first, you are last. But I'll say to them, I guarantee you at the end of this month, you would have spent $185 on unaccounted things. Because on average, every family loses $500 a month in things they don't know where it went. Untracked, untraceable. On average, between the wife and the husband, $500 goes like just random weird things through the 30 days. But you can take 186 and at least buy yourself a 12-month experience and buy yourself 12 breakfasts or 30 breakfasts. 12-month experience and 30 breakfasts. So I always say that to them. You're going to spend that money. You're a terrible spender. First of all, if you have no money, you're probably spending money like crazy. And I mean, some people are not, but those people also genuinely not talking to you about buying something. The people that are like seriously have no money trying to pay their rent are not the ones talking to you about a challenge pack. The ones talking about a challenge pack are afraid to spend the money because they're not good with money and this will be another bad decision they've already made. So I say to them, you'll probably spend that much money in terrible choices without budgeting it, or you could spend this now and know where it went. And then the last thing I say to them is, because I know objections are a hot topic and hearing other options helps, I always say to them, we regret purchases all the time. We never regret experiences. You're spending a year working out with me. That's an experience, not a product. You can't regret an experience. And plus, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, disclaimer. But like, when you call them out on those things, even if they're like, yeah, I'll really think about it, but like, I bought all my children's Christmas presents, well, they're really gonna like playing with those while their ragged, angry mother screams at her husband in the background. It's gonna be great at your family's Christmas. But do it. Read Gordon's If You're Not First, You're Last. Believe in your business. And this is a good time of year to look back and see. Pull up your numbers. How many coaches did you gain this year? Is it dismal? Good! How much money did you make this year? Is it dismal? Excellent! Because guess what? Next year, it's very hard to go backwards. You literally will have a great year next year because you're building. Building is good. Now, if you have a year where like you had growth all these years and suddenly this year you're like, something's wrong because things are going down. That's an excellent time to stop what's not working and you already hate doing, because the things that are not working you hate doing anyway, and start doing it differently. End of the year is a magical time to bless and release last year and write down the stupid things you did so you don't do them again. If you had your weakest year, good. How can next year be weaker? You already hit that. Now you're going to hit something better. And if you had a weak year after a really strong series of years, think about your coaches one day. Think about how you're going to have to turn to your coaches one day and say, hey, I see you had a tough year. Let me tell you about 2018 when and that's my favorite coaching thing. When we've missed a 5-star qualification, we've missed like so many qualifications where like you're ugly crying at 12:02 because it's 2 minutes too late to do anything. And I always think, this is good though, because one of my coaches is going to come to me and be like, oh my God, my Shakeology streak is ruined. And I'll be like, let me tell you about the time we dropped 5-star by one coach 2 minutes after the deadline and I cried for 3 days. And they're like, oh, that's terrible. And I'm like, yeah, it was horrible. But now I don't even think about it because we've like outdone that so many times. So when it hurts, you will comfort people through that pain. And hopefully you get hurt the most, like the idiot in front, because then you have this repertoire of fixing people who are like, let me tell you the worst thing that ever happened. And I'm like, bring it. It's unluckily, if they complain about volume, I'm like, hello, I'm here. You know how they say it's a pyramid scheme? Well, I'm on top and it's a bad thing, like a real bad thing, because I'm the first. It's not good for me. So that's all I got. This went very late and long.
That's okay. They're used to it with me.
Oh,
this is just how we roll.
They're trained for this.
I mean, you're a breath of fresh air, I should say. I mean, I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. But seriously, I think I can listen to you like all day, just be funny, because I'm not funny. And so when I get to hear other people funny.
Oh my God, you are so funny.
No, you know what? You're having empathy right now, and that's uncharacteristic.
No. See, no, that was funny. And that was funny.
So you guys, like, there is so much in here like that. Like, I was just texting with Kelly Brown, and I wrote really big, and she sent it to me. Be loud in your vision. I mean, that is so powerful. So I think we are so scared to be loud about what we want.
We're scared to be first too.
We are scared to be first because we're afraid it might make someone feel bad about where they're at. Let's just be honest. I know that's some limiting beliefs that some people carry.
Yeah, that's why Grant Cardone. That's why his messages. That's why it resonated with her, and that's why it really offends a lot of people.
Yeah. But that was powerful. Transform 20 could pull someone out of their grave. I mean, all of these little things, I feel like I could quote you. I have social media content for like months, and I'll just give you credit right underneath it. You know what I mean?
And I was screenshotting it and like posting it a week later. Oh, that was good. Where the hell did you get that from?
That's good. I got all kinds of quotes. I mean, I was cracking up over here. You are so awesome. I love your energy. You're hysterical. You obviously have a lot of fun in your business. I think I need to have a little bit more fun like you. I could be a tad more serious. I think I need to laugh more like you. You were fun.
I can't do it if it's not fun. You guys, it's too much. Like I work or think about work all the time. So if I don't like it, like how horrible would that be?
Right?
I get angry when Trevor's like, let's watch a movie tonight. And I'm like, oh, like turn off the lights where you see my phone is on and you'll be really pissy about it? Like 2.5 hours. I come out of the actual movie theater. I come out of the movie theater and it's like Armageddon. What has happened in the world in the last 2.5 hours that I was not available? Oh my God, I don't even recognize this place. I'm not saying you should be like that. It is my personality though, and I'm making the most of it.
Well, I love that you love what you do. I mean, I grew up in a household where my mom hated what she did. So Sundays, because Monday was coming, was horrific. So if I'm being honest, I'd rather have a mom that was really excited about her vision or her mission rather than someone that dreaded what they did, you know, every day. And so, you know, I love everything that you shared. I could see lots of aha moments happening over here. And so you're hilarious. I think I'll need a little bit more Ellie in my life, if I'm being honest, because I would be the one that would be like, when you're like, you don't need to be humble. I was like, oh, damn it. That's what people call me. I need to be less humble. You know what I mean? Like, more like
humble in a very like, I am so powerful way. Like it's difficult. No, it's difficult. Like I don't like talking about money because like, oh my God, it's so gross. And sometimes I will just to like remind people that I'm awesome. And then I'll have to say like the 6-figure thing. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I think that confidence, like I was telling my team today, and then I'll let everybody go, but confidence is something that you don't understand how much you need it until you don't have it. You know what I mean? I was talking to my doctor, their receptionist at the doctor's office. I get my neck work done, and that's what we were talking about. You know what I mean? Is that confidence is something is lacking, and the success equation is consistency plus time plus intensity multiplied by your belief. And if your belief is 0, it doesn't matter what you're doing because you can't fake it. You know, this whole fake it till you make it. Like, I don't think you can fake belief. You know what I mean? No. And so you can be super excited and people are going to feel that and they're going to want what you have. And I think that's what I feel flowing from you, Ellie. And that's got to be what your whole team feels and all your challengers. It doesn't surprise me one bit that you had to have stories like that. You know, like you said, you earned it. You have to show up. You're never going to hear a story like Ellie shared with inconsistency. You know what I mean? We don't get not to show up, in my opinion, because there are people out there like that. So, Ellie, thank you so much for your time. And, you know, I know your kids watch some TV so that you could sew into us. So we are so appreciative for you. And, of course, anything that I can ever do for you and your team.
Oh, I'm coming for you in your box, like, instantly.
What's that?
I said I'm coming for you in your inbox.
You got it, girlfriend.
Yes,
You got. I just gotta like. I guess like I gotta take some Energize before I get on your call. Like I gotta bring it, and then I need some fun words like you came up with, like dingbat, like hashtag dingbat. Like I need to come up with some new fun words. Like
We need to bring dingbat.
we do. I think that's gonna come back. You're gonna see me hashtag dingbat. Like don't be.
Dingbat is amazing. I call my challengers that all the time. Like somebody who doesn't order something on HD, and I'm like, "You're in Canada, you dingbat. You can't do stuff like that. It's $20 shipping."
I love it. I'm gonna call people dingbat, and I'm gonna say
The
because
ding dong is dangerous because of the dong. And when you have a following, there'll be some creep who's gonna like ding you right back on your dong.
yeah.
That's inviting things in. I have learned.
All right, y'all, take that. Note to self: dingbat, not ding dong. Okay, you got that. Ellie, you're hysterical. Thank you so much for your time. I love you, Team Courage. Have an awesome week. See ya.